What's up, everybody? Welcome to Quantum Ascent. I have AIOZ network up on the screen. This does represent about 25% of my holdings. It is my AI play for this cycle. So we're going to dive in. I did an alt season target a while back, but we've set new lows since. So we're going to dive into what exactly is going on here. So I've put a little bit of time into this today. What we're looking at, guys, on that run up was a pretty basic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? On the way down here, this is the weekly chart, by the way. On the way down, looks like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, like that. And right now, so far, we have a 1, a 2, and right now we're waiting on 3, 4, 5 to get us off into new highs for that alt season. So then on a macro time frame, what we're looking at right now is one of two things. I believe what we're doing is just a macro A, B, C. Don't worry about these targets yet. We'll get into that in a sec. A macro A, B, C, right? What could also be happening is a 1, 2, 3. This next big bear is a 4, and then there's going to be one more 5. Now, the reason I'm leaning towards the ABC is because looking at the macro and different indicators, it does look like we could have the biggest crash since the 1930s, since the Great Depression coming up with the way things are working out. So I'm leaning more towards this being an ABC and then everything taking a massive dump after. Something similar to the tech bubble could be coming to crypto where there's really just a cleansing. But for the time being, we still got an alt season ahead of us. So right now my base for this is an ABC. So we talk about it on the channel all the time. All right, well, in order for this ABC to be valid, we need the C wave to be the same distance as the A wave here. Okay, so we take this A wave, which looks like it starts right there. All right, 12,500%. Now we take that 12,500% and we're going to take it from this low here. 12,539. It's not going to let me get that close. Let's do this. 12,000. It's about as close as we're going to get. Right there. That has us right at like 22 bucks. So trust me, I know how insane that sounds, right? Like that from a current price level, we're looking at like a 73x, right? Which is insane. Insane to talk about, but there's other ways that we can get up there. It's not just the measured move of an ABC here. And if we look at where this came down, guys, it came down right on top of this first wave. Right there, right? And it found support and got its bounce. I'm telling you, this thing hasn't even experienced an alt season yet. So we got this giant run up here of 12,500%, and that was not during an alt season. That was AIOZ kind of doing its own thing, right? So in an alt season environment, it's not insane to think that we could get up there and have a similar size rise. So the other thing I want to point out is this. We'll get back into those measurements in a second. So conservatively, what we would say is we're going to pull fibs on here, pull it to the low. Our conservative target for this thing is going to be $5, right? That's a little bit more in line with alt season. With a lot of these other targets, that puts us at like a 17x from the current price. So definitely plausible that $5 gets hit during this run. Okay, what we're talking about here is a little bit more hyped. It's still mathematical though, and that's what I'm going to show you here with this next move. So typically with fibs, you take the 1 from the top, you pull the 0, you pull the 0 down to the bottom, and that's our range. However, there are environments and circumstances such as an alt season or in a third wave, which we're saying this could be macro third, or a blow off C wave. And what you do in that situation is we're going to take this 236 and we're going to take the measurement of this from the 236 to the 0, and it's going to project out a higher wave. So where does that take us? Check that out. When we do it that way and we pull the fib from the high there to the low there, $20.87. That other one was right at $22. So there's two different ways that we get up there using math and measurements Like nothing that I'm not just throwing a number out there for you. I showed you guys 2 different ways that we got up there, right? And this can happen in a blow off C or third wave, right? And that it could be either right now. We don't know. But what we're going to do is the key here is we need to be paying attention to these 5 waves. Where this third wave stops out could be a pretty big indicator for us. Like, all right, are we just getting back up here? And then, that $5 range that we were talking about, which is still a range. So look, if I pull the fib from here to here, that 4236 is also the 1 of the extension. So we have a couple things saying $5. We'll get into that in a sec. As an area of resistance. So we're just going to have to wait to see how this third wave plays out. But if I were to say, okay, this is my primary target, which it is, we'll put it up here. Here's how I would guess this thing would go. Not guess, but right, use our math and measurements to see how this thing would go. So it could look something like this, because we talked about different ways we could find resistance up here at the $5 level. All right. Well, how big was our first wave measurement here? First wave was 215%. In this scenario, our third wave would be 1900%, 1866. And if we came back down, the thing is, we don't know how deep this would back test. That's a pretty big back test. We'll say approximately 50% typically on a back test. So that would bring us right here. Also the 50% retracement of the whole move. Just bear with me here. It'll all add up. No. What the hell? Okay, there. I want that guy. Okay. And then that would put our fifth wave up around like 700%. Let's see how this thing moved over here. Our first wave was obviously pretty big, sitting there at 1900%. Our third wave right here, 900%. And that last wave, that fifth wave there, only 300%. So there are some similarities here in wave movement. This wave 5 of that A wave, close to this wave 1, right? I mean, 100% off, 75% off, but close to that wave 1. This third wave here of 1866, pretty similar to this first wave here of 1900. And then that third wave there of 890, pretty similar to that 700, or if we keep going, 750, right? So it's plausible to think that this thing could move like that, right? And I just showed you how. Now, again, we're trying to project this thing months ahead of time, guys. I'm not saying that this is exactly how this thing is going to play out. But right now, this is my base case. It had this type of movement in an environment where there wasn't an alt season, right? And so right now, we're looking for 2 more waves. What's the measurement of these first 2 waves here? Waves 1 and 3 of this first run-up. 10,200%. All right. So we're looking for 2 waves right now to come in that would only need to get us 6,800%. It's happened before. It's right there. Let's see what these, I haven't checked this out yet. What are these last couple waves? That's only 1,100%. But waves 1 through 3 was bigger than the waves we need here, 3 through 5. So I'm just showing you guys that it's possible. Again, I'm not saying that this is going to happen with 100% certainty, but it is my base case. So conservatively, $5 looks good for AIOZ, and that's still a big pop, man. I would be perfectly happy. And based on the things we were showing, and there's a lot of resistance, I will be taking some off the table, shy of $5, right? And that's a 16% from here. So we just got to see, guys. These third waves are queued up. Once this third wave ends and the fourth wave comes in, we'll have a much better idea of what our target's going to be. So for now, we're going to say, yep, we're going up there, $20 to $22 AIOZ. Here's the pathway on how we could get here. Here's the math behind it. Let's wait and see. Once the third wave is done, we'll reevaluate depending on where that tops out, and we'll see if this target still makes sense or if, maybe it's closer to that $5 range. So that's it. That's what I got for AIOZ. If you guys could do me a favor, if you could follow, like, repost. I've been doing TA a long time. I just want to help as many of you guys as I can. I released an ebook a couple weeks ago on building the perfect crypto portfolio. You can check that out in my X bio or in the description of this YouTube video. Thank you guys for being here. Happy 4th of July to my American friends, and I'll talk to you guys later.